Hey there guys, Dr. Davidson. Today we're going to be talking about quad rehab and exercises. Okay, so the quads are some of the most famous muscles on the body, right? These are the ones that people like to think about when we're doing legs, we're doing quads and glutes, those kinds of things, which we have videos on how to exercise your glutes up in the card section. So go ahead and check those out. But when we're talking about quads, we want to establish kind of a hierarchy, because what can happen is if we try to go too hard too quick, then we can injure ourselves and reduce our ability to progress further forward. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of different iterations on how to progress your quad rehab and how to then incorporate some of these into your warm-up before you do some exercise. So the first rehab exercise we use is called the quad set. So all you're going to be doing is sitting with your legs straight out in front of you. You can do this on the ground, on your bed, wherever. You can put your legs straight out. From there, all we're going to do is contract the quad. And what that's going to do is try to put the back of the knee on the ground. And what this is doing, we're not getting crazy muscle activation. All we're doing is firing the pathways from the brain to the leg, specifically the quad, to fire that pathway and get it wired properly. So what we like to do is we can do this with or without resistance. The resistance in this case is just going to be a towel. Just slide that under and press into the towel. And we're gonna do this for 10 reps a set. The numbers are really arbitrary. If you find that you're post-surgery and 10 reps is too much for a set, then we're gonna bring it down. And if you're finding 10 reps per set is way too easy, then we'll progress to the next exercise. Okay, so the next exercise is gonna be a wall push. So what we're gonna be doing here is activating the quads and a bunch of other structures at the same time, but ultimately the quad never fires by itself. So if we can start to train it in unison with other muscles, this is going to be great. If you're not ready for this, then of course stay back at the quad set. So what we're going to be doing with the wall push is we're going to be laying on our backs close to the wall so our legs can be in a 90-90 position with our feet on the wall. Okay? So from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna imagine pushing the wall away. What we're gonna do is we're gonna work up a progression of 10 to 20% of maximal load each set. Okay, so what that looks like is we're gonna do 5 reps of 20% activation into the wall. So I'm pushing 20% of my maximal effort into the wall for around 5 seconds, okay? So we're pushing, relax, okay? Next set, after our multiple reps of 20%, then we're gonna go 40%, and then 60%, and then 80%, and then 100%. This will recruit more and more motor units, which motor units are basically the amount of muscle fibers to nerve endings. If we can start to recruit more and more motor units, we should be able to create more motor output and use more of the muscle itself. Once we've done that in the 90-90 position, we can experiment with going farther away and closer to the wall, right? Because most of the time when we're squatting, we're not squatting exactly to the 90-90 position, and we don't start off in the 90-90 position. So we should be able to exert power not only from the bottom of the squat, but from the top of the squat. So play around with moving yourself closer, farther away, and that will help recruit more and more motor units as we go. So after those two progressions, what we can finally progress to are things called wall sits. Now, we've all done wall sits probably in high school or in undergrad, some sort of PE class or something like that. So most of you know the drill, but we like to explain for those that don't. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your back flat against the wall, and then from there, you're just in a 90-90 position. You're gonna hold that position for around 30 seconds. Now, you can make this more difficult on yourself, in which we like to do in office, is by putting a band around your knees and working on getting your knees outwards. What this is gonna do is this is gonna activate more of the outside of your glutes. Some of these things like the glute medius, glute minimus. We actually have some videos on glute med and glute min using iso clamps that you can find in the video card up above. But this exercise is also great to incorporate in a rehab strategy for the glute med, especially because now we're wiring the quads into the glute med. We can play around with different heights while doing the wall sit. So we can go higher up to make it a little easier on our quads and glutes, or we can drop it down lower and really push in. Now, for all of these sets and reps, we like to use 8 to 10 reps per set, but realistically, it all depends on your individual body, your metabolic threshold, all the things that we like to talk about in office. All right, guys, that was some of our quad rehab exercises. If you like this information, go ahead and like, share, comment. Go ahead and check out our other videos on some glute rehab exercises that tend to pair well with quad rehab exercises. All right, we'll see you in the next one.